Hi there, I'm Andy and welcome to my channel about crypto. In today's video, I want to talk about 4 main mistakes a lot of new people make when they enter the crypto space. And a lot of it is also equally applicable to NFTs. And to be honest, to other types of trading as well, at least to some degree. So in no particular order, there are short-term thinking, insufficient security, lack of plan, and giving in to FOMO and FUD. So first of all, short-term thinking. Well, most people, I would argue, get into crypto because they hope to make essentially quick money, right? A lot of people saw those opportunities to make huge profits in a very short period of time. Same thing again applies to NFTs. And they jumping into it, especially when crypto is pumping, hoping that they can repeat it. They can get the same result. They can make a ton of money within a matter of days or weeks, maybe a couple of months. And of course, it's possible. People do it. People achieve it. And especially in a crypto bull run, yes, absolutely, it can happen. But it's an extremely high risk strategy. And this is something you have to be aware of, that if that's what you want to do, if that's your plan, then, well, you have to accept the risks that come with it. On the other hand, though, if you look at a longer time frame, crypto is actually, well, it's still a risky asset. It's completely unregulated asset class, but it's not actually as risky as it is on the shorter time frames, if that makes sense. If we look at, let's say, price of Bitcoin over a longer period of time, I mean, there is a huge volatility on shorter time frames. But if you invested in, let's say, even at the peak of 2017 market cycle when it was around, well, just shy of 20K, then of course it crashed. For a long period of time, you would be down on your investment. But then from basically December 2020, so over 2 years ago, you would be in profit pretty much all the time. There was of course a period recently when Bitcoin was down, but even then it wasn't down massively below 20K. And sure, there is no guarantee that there won't be another dip coming, but basically, if you look at this longer time frame, well, actually, there is a very high likelihood that you would be up on your investment. And we're talking here about investing at the absolute peak of the previous market cycle. Well, I mean here, 2017 market cycle. If you invested anywhere during this period, of course, it would be much easier to be in profit. And in fact, past this moment here, you would be in profit at all times. It's not necessarily quite the same for other cryptocurrencies. Of course, smaller cap altcoins are much more volatile and some of them go to zero. But with a lot of them, if it's a quality project, on a longer time frame, it can actually perform really well. And that's something really important to remember about this whole space, about anything blockchain related, about whole Web3. We are still in very early days of this technology. Crypto and NFTs, I think, will play a huge part in our lives. I think we'll be using it, both of those, pretty much like we use, I don't know, our debit cards right now, or as we use the internet. But this is something that will come over the next few years. So if your time horizon is measured in years rather than weeks or months, and if you do your research and if you find quality projects which have some strong value proposition and which are likely to survive this long period of time and in fact grow in value over that period of time, then essentially, well, you should do very well. On the other hand, if you're just looking at what's pumping right now, or if you're looking at various influencers for their advice what token you should get into, and you hope to make a lot of money over a very short period of time, well, it's much more of a gamble. Yes, you may be successful, but there's also a pretty good chance that you will lose this money. The second really big mistake and really common one is insufficient security. We've seen a lot of hacks over the last few days and weeks. I've seen a lot of people getting hacked when they had hardly anything in their wallet. I've seen a couple of really big names in the crypto space getting hacked and losing hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars worth of crypto and NFTs. No account, no wallet is too small or too big to get hacked. You have to be very If you stick to some basic rules, it's actually not that difficult to stay safe in this space, but you have to put an effort and make sure that you know what those rules are. You have to at all costs protect your seed phrase, your password, and your private key to your wallet. Any valuable NFTs should be in your hardware wallet. You must never enter a seed phrase of your hardware wallet onto any computer. You should have multiple wallets depending on how risky is the activity. For example, for minting, you use your minting or burner wallet. For trading, you may have a separate wallet which you connect to more trusted platforms like OpenSea or Uniswap. And then for storage, where you keep your NFTs, high value NFTs, and your crypto, you use third wallet, Vault, which is never connected to any contract. You only use it to transfer assets in and out of that wallet, but you never actually connect to any websites. Just doing that will already make you pretty secure in this space. Of course, you still have to be careful and not click on any dodgy links. You have to be careful that you don't download some malware and so on. But to be honest, a lot of it is very similar to just staying safe on the internet in general, right? It's, for the most part, it's the same rules you would apply to make sure that no one can access your bank account or any other online platform you use. The next thing I want to talk about is lack of plan, and that's very, very common. People get into crypto thinking, oh, I want to buy some Bitcoin, Ether, I want to buy some NFTs, whatever, and I want to make some money. But they rarely think about, okay, well, what profit they're aiming for? What if there is a sudden parabolic move up, which usually is followed by a crash? Do you keep holding, or if you see that parabolic move up, do you sell at some point, hoping to then re-enter lower, or simply just move your profits to another cryptocurrency or another NFT? Are you planning to gradually take your profits out on the way up, or are you just waiting for some specific amount? What if you never reach that specific amount? What if you reach, I don't know, let's say you want Bitcoin to go up to 100K and then sell. What if Bitcoin goes up to 98K? Are you not going to sell anything? What if it then crashes and you are just 2K short of that target? I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it makes no difference, right? Whether it's 98K or 100K. But potentially you may miss out on the whole profit. And I've made that mistake in the past, purely because you just have certain figure in mind. There are many different ways you can approach it, but it's really important that you have a plan. And these are the kind of questions you should ask yourself when planning your investing or your trading strategy. Are you an investor or are you a trader? What kind of investor are you? What is your goal? What is the time frame? Are you a day trader or are you a longer term investor? If you're a day trader or if you're a short-term trader, well, what is exactly the time frame you want to trade on? If you hold an asset, how long you want to hold on to it? Also, what types of assets you're planning to get? For example, Bitcoin and Ethereum could be pretty decent long-term holds. So far, over a longer period of time, they go up in value. Some large cap altcoins could also be pretty decent, although they tend to crash much more in a bear market. But then a lot of mid, small, and especially micro cap altcoins, NFTs, not to mention various shitcoins, well, if the market goes down, they're likely to crash to absolutely nothing. So you cannot really trade those with long time frame in mind. There are a few exceptions, of course. I mean, there are certain NFTs like CryptoPunks or Bored Ape Yacht Club, which you could argue they are very solid long-term hold, but vast majority should be traded on much shorter time frames. So this is the kind of stuff you have to think about and plan accordingly. Essentially, create a plan and then execute this plan, then execute your trades according to your plan to make sure that you follow it and you actually get the results you want. Because if you're just trying to change things haphazardly, switching from one objective to another or just trading whatever is popular at the moment, then most likely you will get burned. Which actually leads me quite nicely to the last point. And that's two really big issues for many people when they are trading, and that trading pretty much anything. That's FOMO and FUD, fear of missing out and fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And to be honest, a lot of it comes from the lack of plan. So if you do miss out or if you lose money because you're FOMOing into something and you buy it too late and basically you're becoming someone's exit liquidity, or you give in to FUD and you hold all the way through the peak and then all the way down to the bottom, and then at the bottom you finally give up because everyone is panicking and you sell. That largely comes from the previous three things, right? If you sell when everything is crashing, that's probably because you either don't have a plan, or you don't have conviction in a particular project, or you're just thinking in terms of short-term time frames. So again, if we look at price of Bitcoin, there were so many situations where you could quite easily sell because situation looked really, really bad, right? I mean, during this crash here, a lot of people would sell. I mean, that's why the crash happened, right? Because people are selling. And then, of course, it was miserable for a couple of years, but then eventually prices picked up. So if you sold somewhere here at the loss, well, hopefully you bought back when prices went down even lower. But if you didn't, because that was like the maximum FUD period, everyone was completely freaked out. No one wanted to buy Bitcoin because, well, almost no one, because people thought that that's the end of it. Well, then you probably waited until it started picking up, or quite likely you would be waiting until it went past its previous all-time high. And then when this happens, when you have this massive parabolic move up, that's when people get really bullish. That's when everyone thinks, oh, it will go up forever. And then, well, that's also how people get burned, right? You should be buying here if you believe in a project and selling here during those peaks. But you have to know why you're investing in a particular cryptocurrency, NFT, stocks, literally anything. If you're, again, just doing this because someone said so that it's a good investment, or you don't really have any particular plan or idea why you just want to make some money, then again, you will probably get burned. So it's really important to keep those four things in mind, because if you can address those four issues at the beginning, or those four risks at the beginning of your journey in crypto or NFTs, then there is very, very high likelihood that you will be a profitable trader, or at least you will be more profitable than you would be if you give in to any of those. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any comments, please put them in the comment section. If you would like to learn more about crypto and NFTs, please do check out my course, Crypto Like a Pro. And otherwise, thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you next time. Bye.